Right now, in a closet or a utility room somewhere in your home, there is an appliance running. It has been running since the day you moved inches. It runs while you sleep. It runs while you are at work. It runs on weekends when you are not home. You have probably never thought about it once. And according to the US Department of Energy, it is responsible for somewhere between 13 and 18% of your entire electricity bill every single month, whether you use it heavily or barely at all. It is not your refrigerator. It is not your air conditioner. It is the appliance that heats your water. And the reason it costs so much has almost nothing to do with how much hot water you actually use. Most Americans, when they think about what is driving their electricity bill, go through a predictable mental list. The air conditioner in summer, the heater in winter, maybe the refrigerator running constantly, the big screen television, the devices on charge overnight. Water heating almost never makes the list because water heating is invisible. You turn on a tap, hot water comes out, you never see a meter, you never hear the system working, you never receive a separate bill for it. It is bundled into the same electricity statement as everything else, and it sits there quietly month after month, costing between $400 and $600 per year for the average American household. According to the Department of Energy and Energy Star data confirmed through 2025. That is more than most people spend on lighting, more than most people spend on their refrigerator, and almost nobody ever thinks to look at it. If there is something in your home costing you hundreds of dollars a year that you have never once questioned, this channel is built for exactly that. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Now back to your water heater. Here is the specific reason the cost is so high, and it has nothing to do with your shower. A standard 50-gallon electric water heater draws approximately 4,500 watts when its heating elements are running. According to Techno FAQ's analysis of DOE methodology published in April 2026, that unit runs roughly 3 to 5 hours per day, consuming between 13 and 18 kilowatt hours daily. At the national average electricity rate of 17 cents per kilowatt hour, confirmed by the U.S. Energy Information Administration through mid-2025. That works out to approximately $60 to $87 per month just to heat water. In high-rate states like California, Hawaii, or Connecticut, where electricity can exceed 30 cents per kilowatt hour, the same water heater costs between $1,400 and $1,900 per year. Think of it this way. Your water heater is not heating water when you need it. It is heating water constantly and then keeping it hot so that when you do need it, it is ready. The tank holds 50 gallons at a preset temperature, usually around 120 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. As the water in that tank naturally cools, which it does at a rate of roughly half a degree to 1 degree Fahrenheit per hour, the heating elements switch back on to bring the temperature back up. This cycle happens whether you use the hot water or not. It happens at 2 in the morning. It happens when you are on vacation. It happens every hour of every day the unit is plugged inches. Engineers call this standby loss, the energy consumed simply to maintain temperature, not to produce hot water. According to Techno FAQ's analysis citing DOE data, standby loss can account for 15 to 30% of a water heater's total energy consumption. But here is where it gets interesting. The default temperature setting on most American water heaters is not chosen for efficiency. It is not chosen based on your household size or usage patterns. It ships from the factory at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, a temperature the Department of Energy and the Centers for Disease Control both agree is higher than most households actually need. The DOE recommends 120 degrees as the safe minimum that eliminates bacterial risk while reducing energy consumption. According to multiple DOE efficiency guides confirmed through 2025, each 10-degree reduction in your water heater's temperature setting saves 3 to 5% on your water heating costs annually. The difference between 140 degrees and 120 degrees is a 20-degree gap that the manufacturer set without knowing anything about you. And that gap is costing the average American household between $12 and $30 per year in completely unnecessary heating costs, on top of the baseline bill they are already paying. And this is the part that almost nobody realizes until they look at the back of their water heater for the first time. Most American water heaters have an insulation rating stamped on the tank. It is measured in R value, the same metric used for wall and attic insulation. Older units, meaning anything manufactured before roughly 2004, typically carry an R value between 8 and 12. Newer units reach R16 to R24. That difference in insulation quality directly determines how fast the tank loses heat, which directly determines how often the heating elements switch on, which directly determines how much you pay. According to the DOE's finalized water heater efficiency standards published in May 2024, new standards requiring heat pump technology in the most common electric water heater sizes will not go into effect until 2029. Until then, most American homes are still running resistance heating technology that converts electricity to heat at roughly the same efficiency it did 50 years ago. The economic math of this is straightforward. In 2024, the DOE finalized efficiency standards for residential water heaters, projecting savings of approximately $7.6 billion per year across American households once the new standards take full effect. That figure, sourced directly from the DOE's official announcement, implies that the gap between what American water heaters currently cost to run and what they could cost to run is measured in the billions, not millions, annually. Heat pump water heaters, which move heat from the surrounding air rather than generating it directly, are 2 to 3 times more efficient than conventional resistance units, according to DOE and Consumer Reports data confirmed through 2025. They qualify for up to $2,000 in federal tax credits under current law, and they are currently installed in approximately 3% of American homes, 13 to 18% of your electricity bill, running constantly, set at a temperature the manufacturer chose without knowing your name, losing heat through tank walls that may have been built to 1970s insulation standards, and fixable for most households with one change that takes 30 seconds and costs nothing, turning the dial from 140 to 120 degrees. The next video in this series covers the appliance that uses more power when it is empty than when it is full, and it is one that every American opens between 15 and 20 times per day. Subscribe so you see it when it comes out. And tell me in the comments, do you actually know what temperature your water heater is set to right now? Most people have never checked.